Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. In today's video, I'll be doing my May 2022 completed coloring pages, and if that is of interest to you, please stay tuned. All right, so similar setup as my past completed pages videos is that I will break it up by bookshelf. Sorry, if I'm scattered in this video or seem low energy, I've been dealing with some knee problems, and so I want to get this filmed because the way that I store my books that I've colored, it's on its side and I don't touch them until I do my completed pages video, and there's just pages I want to color. So I will separate this out by bookshelf. There are 4 bookshelves, so you'll see 4 different timestamps. Before I forget, Miss Sarah had asked if I could do a shout out for Nicole of Nicole's Happy Place. She's been going through some rough times right now, and so I just wanted to give a shout out to her. I will link all the channels mentioned in the description box below. If you can stop by Nicole's channel, just show some love to her. I'm sure that will just lift her spirits and help her through these difficult days. Okay, so we're going to actually go from bookshelf 4 to bookshelf 1, and that's just because logistically I'm going to work on the one that's farthest away from me because I do have all of the pages tabbed. I do that for the convenience for both myself and for you guys, so that when I'm doing the editing, you don't have to see me fumble through the book to find the pages, and then I can put them back on the shelf so that I don't have books piled everywhere. It is going to be a long video because there are a lot of books on their side, and that's again how I store them. So let's get started. I do have several pages out of Hannah Lynn's Pocket Size Enchanted Faces. I actually really like working out of this book because it's so small. This first one was a buddy color with Tammy Colors 2, and I had messaged her because I love how she looks now, but there was a point in which she actually looked she had mold in her hair, and I wish I had taken a picture because the hair actually started a different color, and I was just layering and layering and layering, and all of these low lights here were actually a dark green at one point, and then I just put more colors on top. So I love how she looks now, but yeah, for a while there she actually did look like she had moldy hair, which honestly would have been kind of funny too. I did want to do this page because Bubbles Studio was doing a hashtag for Bubbles Aquatic 2022, and then Erica from Elm Colors was doing Mermaid Color Along 2022. Now, as is usual for me, I don't post to Instagram. I don't post to Instagram very often, but I do like focusing pictures based on hashtags that are in the community. This was a buddy color with my friend Jen from Instagram. Again, any channels or Instagram pages that I mention, I will link below. And so this was 1, a buddy color, and 2, this would have gone towards Poets There May Be Dragons, because I see that as a dragon right there. There was more of a detailed background, but I just washed that with a dark color because I could not be bothered, and I think she came out really pretty. And then the last one is this one right here, also a buddy color with my friend Jen. Again, I think she's really pretty. More often than not, I'm very happy with the works that I do in here because they just tend to be very colorful, and I don't know, there's just something about the colorway in here that I really enjoy. But that's my completed pages for Enchanted Faces, the pocket-sized coloring book by Hannah Lynn. I do also have this one by Hannah Lynn, which is Sweet and Simple Whimsy Girls, and I do have 2. Both of these were based on color palettes that either Poet or Sarah had sent to me. So Sarah had chosen this color palette, and so while it definitely is not what you typically see with mermaids, I actually think it looks really good. And this is one of my favorite pages out of here, not by way of the colorway, but by way of the composition, because this bird could either be looking at this mermaid for one of two reasons. The first, more innocent reason is this bird is just adoring this mermaid right here. But the other reason, which I went with, was someone smells like seaweed. And so I wrote, oh, what's that smell? Because that's just funny to me. And then the other picture was the color palette that a poet had sent to me. And so I did put some colors down there. You guys know I don't generally swatch, but if I'm given a color palette to try to use, then I will go through my different markers and see if I can find something that's very similar to what I was sent. And again, really happy with the color choices. And when you have a limited color palette like that, because I always just assume I can add a skin tone with that and then add in the other colors of the palette, then you'd really have to be aware of where your colors are going to go to make the best use of it. Because I could have put her tail as the kind of blues and greens that are there, but I decided to go the other way with it. I'm very happy with it. And so for both of those, they weren't specific pictures, but they did say, hey, here's a color palette, and I just chose something that was fairly simple. And that's Sweet and Simple Whimsy Girls by Hannah Lynn. This is an ongoing buddy color with Erica, Emma, and Poet, and we do a page every month out of Reptiloids, and I did confirm with the ladies we'll be continuing this through 2022. I believe Emma is trying to finish this book, so hopefully that'll help. We don't have certain pages that we do. We just do a page, and then we have a certain color palette that we do. And so for May, it was, I believe, red and blue. And so I chose this. Now I had thought I would go in order, and more often than not I will, but this also fit a prompt that Olga was doing by way of musical instruments, and so I decided to color this one instead. As you can see, red and blue are the predominant colors on the page, although there are some other colors on there as well. And her name is Lady Harlow the Harpist, and I think she's really cute. Now what I meant was, originally I was just going to go to the next uncolored page, but I do like when my pages can fulfill several different things, and so for right now he is going to be my June page that I'm going to color. But if when I finally get to this book for this month something else fits something else, then of course I'm going to just choose that. But that is Vassal Psycho's Reptiloids. Now you guys know that I like to do Corey's alphabet challenge, and for this month I could not find an alcohol marker that started with the letter J, and I went through several different sets. And so the only page that will go towards that prompt is from here, Gabby Wolf's Daydreams. And it's this is my pencil page. I was able to find 4 different pencils that started with the letter J. And so there's an Erogetin J Blue, Prismacolor Jasmine, Prismacolor Jade Green, and a Crayola Jade Green. And then I just colored this. I don't normally like to do pencil work on Amazon printed paper. I certainly don't like to do mandala type things, which this to me certainly is, but it fit a prompt, and I also wanted to color something in this book, and because of the limited color palette, this just kind of made the most sense to me. If I am going to do other pages like this, because there are several more like this in this book, it certainly will be alcohol marker, because even though it doesn't seem like it, there's a lot of different layers just to try to get some different effects on here. But that's my completed page of this, Daydreams by Gabby Wolf. I do have a completed page out of this, Gods and Beasts by Adam Fisher. And this actually was twofold. One, it was a buddy color again with my friend Jen of Instagram, but it also fit a prompt for Olga, which was musical instrument. And this is the Sirens page, and I really like how this one came out. And that's my completed page of Gods and Beasts by Adam Fisher. I do have another completed page of this. I have filmed a flip through, and that will probably come out after this video. So I just need to finish editing this one, and the Mythographic Voyage, Miss Valentina had requested flips of both of these. So they are coming, just I still need to work on the edits. But I did this page here, and as you guessed it, it was for a prompt that Olga was doing, which was shell. And I do like how it came out. And quite a few have asked me in the comments, you know, or have made comments about that I complete a lot of pages every month, and this month is no exception. And the reason for that is Olga is probably the biggest driver of pages that I complete on a monthly basis, as well as my buddy colors. So if I can stack those, then great. But if I can't, I like to do, and I don't know why, at least one page for Olga's Find and Color on a weekly basis, but more often than not, it's between 1 and 4 pages. Plus I also do her monthly color along. So that drives a lot of pages right there. And then my buddy colors, and then Coloropoly, and then other prompts that I like to do. So the volume is based on those things. And then usually this is the hobby that I lean to the most when I'm feeling anxious or stressed, or I want to feel creative but not start from scratch, and just putting a color to a page really just helps me with those things. So if you guys ever wondered how come I do so many pages, I basically once I get home and I eat and I shower, I spend a few hours on this. I spend a lot of the weekend on this, and I also spend my lunch breaks on this. And so it has been my hobby du jour because it just helps me fit some things that help me with my anxiety. And so this is Big Little World by Radu Fraji. Tammy wanted to do a quick buddy color along with some of the other buddy colors that we had, and so we chose from this. I'd actually looked at her channel to see some books that we had similarly. Now this I keep at work. I will be taking back to work. I'm not a fan of mandalas. When I purchased it last April, I thought maybe this kind of mandala would work for me, but it doesn't really. Although I had a lot of fun with this because to me it looks sort of like stained glass or sort of like a tile, and then you guys know I just black things out when I don't want to have to deal with them. And this actually makes this way more interesting to me than without it, because that black square or diamond I put in. And so I might do something similar where I kind of ground it in a very dark color and then everything else just pops. But the one that she completed was also quite beautiful, and so I'm a little bit more interested in coming back into this book than I was before. But yeah, it's not my go-to, but it was something that actually was relatively quick. I did finish this during a lunch break, and the most tedious part was actually coloring all of the black. Everything after that was a alcohol marker base and then just a little bit of pencil shading on top. But this is Woodland Mandalas by Finia McCardle. Now I didn't post this to Instagram yet. I need to. But this was one of my entries for Coloropoly for May. One of my prompts was sport with a ball, and so I chose this, which is juggling. Certainly not something you'd expect for a ball sport, but there's balls right there. I want to say that this was there, although I couldn't tell you for sure. Yeah, I think that was already there. So I just colored that down, some contrasting colors. And her name is Cecily. And her little quote there is, "I'm silently judging your juggle skills." And I think she's absolutely fab. She is sparkle-tastic. And this is also something that I completed in a day. But yeah, that went towards my Coloropoly prompt for May, and that's Fashion Circus by Carla Magana. I do have a couple of pages completed from here. If you are unaware, I do have Grogu in 2022 as a hashtag on Instagram, as well as a new one that I've started, which is Morgan O Scavenger Hunt. For the scavenger hunt for June, the prompt is friend. This is the page that will be colored for June, and it actually fits both of those prompts. But the 2 pages that I completed is this one right here. And I believe we actually colored this together on my channel. And what this says is, Grogu found a new motto. Friends are food. Wait, something about that didn't sound right. But seriously, who takes advice from a fish? This is the way. And then I have yet to write the little saying here. I forgot to do that before filming, but this was the color along that we did. This fit a couple of prompts. This fits Feth's 15 shades of gray, and it's something that I do plan to continue on a monthly basis. Not in here necessarily, but just using a bunch of grays in a page. This also fit Grogu in 2022, and this also fit M. Bean's One Color Challenge 2022, because again, all of these are grays. And Feth did confirm that silver is a gray. So we're going to go with it. So those are my completed pages from this. This is The Way Home by Morgan O'Brien. I did have one page from here, but I don't think I sent it to Olga because it was colored for a prompt. This is Welcome to the Village by Morgan O'Brien. This is definitely inspired by Animal Crossing. And the page I completed was this one. This is KK Slider. If you are not familiar with the game, it's a Nintendo Switch game. And because the prompt was musical instrument, this was a very easy and quick color. And what his little saying says is, KK Slider just calculated how many concerts he did with just his guitar. LOL, who needs clothes when you have such big talent? And that's that page right here, which is Welcome to the Village, a cozy coloring book by Morgan O'Brien. I did complete a page out of here. This actually could have gone to Lavella and T's Color Your Hoard, but again, my Instagram game is weak, so it didn't, but it could have, because this is the very first page I have colored in here. This is Camille Bell's collection of jars. Camille does have an Instagram, or well, I'm pretty sure she has an Instagram, but she also has a YouTube channel, so I'll link that below. This was colored for Olga Ronnie's monthly prompt for May of Around the World in 80 Pictures. And so I chose this because this represented Holland to me. And then this actually is just a little bit of research. Located in the Provence of South Holland, Kinderdijk is home to the country's most recognizable windmills. Built in the 18th century, the network of 19 windmills is used as a water management tool to prevent flooding. Now, I'm not saying that that's where this is, but this represented Holland to me, and so I did some research on Holland, and that's from booking.com, and I wrote it on the page. And it does twofold. One, it gives me a little bit more information about the location that I thought this covered, plus it takes up some of the black space. And you guys know, if I can avoid doing a background, I will. But that's this page from this collection of jars by Camille Bell. This was another group buddy color between Pixie and Evers and I, and it was this right here. This actually would have gone towards both Evers' birthday prompt scavenger hunt thingy, because I believe dinosaurs was one of them. And this also would have gone towards Poets There May Be Dragons, because that prompt could have been dragons, dinosaurs, or bees. Now, I was really happy with this page until I did the dinosaurs, because there is not a lot of contrast between them and the background. So I should have chosen a different color, but otherwise I'm really happy with this page. And although this bamboo looks very difficult, this is actually a wash of my Graffitint paint. I do have the little paint set, and this is the effect that it came out with. So although it looks like it's a ton of work, it literally is just one wash of the russet colored Graffitint paint. And I could not be happier with it. In fact, I'm probably going to run out of that color first, just because I love the effect that it has on the page. But that is a group buddy color from this Keyhole Worlds. I don't know who the artist is. But yeah, this is from Amazon. I know it's a bit late to mention this, but I don't link books in my channel. If there's anything that you see, let me know in the comment section, and I can certainly send you a link that way. This was kind of a long whip for me, but it did fit a prompt. This is Tatiana Bogema-Stolova's Nice Little Town 7. I'd actually started this in September 2021, but it did go for a prompt. Oh, for pillow. I didn't write that down. I'll need to do that. And because it was about, I don't know, 70% completed, I just decided to finish this for that Olga Rani prompt. And it's funny, I do have another whip in here right behind it, which is this. I've yet to come back to it, but to be honest, I might just hold out and see if it fits a prompt in the community, and then I'm nearly done with the page. But yeah, that's the page that I completed out of this one, Nice Little Town 7. This is also a coloring book that I keep at work, so I will be taking that back with me. I do have a completed page out of this, which is Witches. And this was a buddy color with my friend Jen from Instagram. Hers is absolutely beautiful. I had a vision in my mind. It kind of worked, it kind of didn't. I wanted the background to be black because originally it wasn't. I also wanted the candles to be black, and I think that's where the fatal flaw is. Now they are different tones. There's actually quite a few layers on these candles, but I think I should have gone more for like a kind of dark blood red versus a pure black on here, because there isn't a lot of contrast between the background and these candles. And then when I got to the butterflies, I just used a Pentel Dual Hybrid metallic pen just to kind of add some color without having to deal with the detail. Overall, I'm really happy with this, but I think my execution and my thought process between these elements right here could have been handled a little differently. But this is my completed page from Witches. I do have some buddy colors set up in here for June. This was a buddy color with my friend Amanda Downey from Instagram. This is from Steampunk Darlings, a Hannah Lynn coloring book. And we did this one right here. I really was focused on just her. And then when it came to the background, I just kind of left it as is, just added a little bit of color. There is some glossy accents on here. However, I don't color doubles in this, so there's no reason for me to color this. And so if I ever do color this page right here, there is enough of a buffer between the two pages that glossy accents doesn't actually make a difference, because there's quite a bit of it in here and then a little bit of it in here. I really like how she came out, but that's my buddy color with my friend Amanda D. This would have gone towards Bubble Studios Bubble Aquatic, as well as Erica's Mermaid Coloring Along. I'm assuming fish are just fishy mermaids. But again, I don't post to Instagram, so it was never posted there, but that was kind of my mindset when choosing this picture. But that is my completed page from Steampunk Darlings from Hannah Lynn. I did complete a page out of this one. This is a new coloring book. I do have some buddy colors, as you can see by the tabs, but I do also have a completed page. This again would have gone towards Lavella and T's Color Your Hoard, but I did complete this page. And the reason I completed this page was because it was for a prompt. I know, big surprise, for Olga Rani's Find in Color, which was Shell. And it's the shell right here. Now, I've mentioned this before, and I'll mention again, I don't like coloring mandalas, and this really cemented that fact. Coloring the same element over and over and over again does not relax me. It just kind of makes me angry. But I have stubbornness issues, and so I decided to color this page because of that right here. This also could have gone towards M. Bean's One Color Challenge. These are all tones of gold, or either have gold in the name. And so what this is comprised of is the metallic gold from Prismacolor, golden rod from Prismacolor, a gold Wink of Stella, and a gold Pentel Dual Hybrid Metallic. Now, in some of these mandala-esque aspects, I could have done more coloring, but I did a lot of straight coloring with just some glitter gel pen accents. And then all of this is just basically what, 2 pencils? Yeah, there's 2 pencils, 1 glitter gel pen, and a gold Wink of Stella. And so I think, considering that, I think it does have a really nice effect, but probably 30% into this, I was already over it. But again, I have stubbornness issues. And so I did complete it. I do need to post this to my own hashtag, which is coloring the year of the tiger. Again, it can be any tiger page, any astrology page, or any animal featured in astrology. You can also go towards that hashtag. But that's this book right here, Astrology Coloring. I do like the paper in here. This isn't going to be a pencil book for me, but I did want it to do it in a specific theme, and so that's why I chose the mediums that I did. But this is Anna Jaren's Astrology Coloring. Now, this is the last book of bookshelf number 4. Yeah, we've only done 1 bookshelf, but I do like to complete a page out of here. Again, this goes towards my hashtag, Coloring the Year of the Tiger. This is Coloring Heaven's Zodiac Special, and this month I chose to do a picture from Kelly O'Gorman. There are 4 different artists featured in here, and so far I've done a picture of 3 of them, or from 3 of them. And so this is Taurus. Taurus runs between April 21st through May 20th. And something I found online was Taurus knows how to kill with kindness, but don't get it twisted. They still don't like you. And if you guys know anything about me, I definitely lean towards either the snarky, the sassy, or the darker type of quotes, which kind of contrasts with the colorway here, which is very bright and vibrant. This was done on the last day of the month because I did want to complete a picture out of here. So my color palette is very bright and bold just because I wanted it to be limited, and then a lot of the accents is either done a Pentel glaze pen or a Pentel dual hybrid metallic pen. So that's the page right there. I do like it. And it's kind of mandala-y because there is some symmetry, but there's also some differences between the different sides. So it did keep my interest a little bit more. But again, this was done in the 11th hour of the month. And so I'm glad I did it, but I will need to manage my time a little better. But that is Zodiac Special from Coloring Heaven. I do have 1 completed page from this Mythographic Imagine. This is something I keep at work, and I did this page right here because when I was coloring with the black acrylic paint, I had kind of messed up the edges. I just bordered in a washi tape. This went for Ever's Ever Birthday Fun because there's a dragon. It also goes for poets. Hashtag There May Be Dragons. I don't know if I actually posted this one to Instagram. I actually think I did. And then this is actually something that I made up. So based on the imagery and the coloring, because I always add the sayings last, I wrote, she was the silence in the fire, the yearning in the flames. Her gaze was unflinching, the master of the game. And so that's just something I made up for this picture right here. I could not be happier with it. It encompasses a lot of things. I think the dragon looks good. I think she looks good. Pink and green are some of my favorite colors. It did fit some of the prompts that were out in the community. And I think it's a really beautiful page, and I could not be prouder of this one. And so that is Mythographic Imagine, and that is artwork by Joseph Contenbong. I do have a page completed from this. This is Kirby Rosanna's Mythic World. If you see the tabs, that's just buddy colors that I've already set up. This was a buddy color between Pixie and Evers and I. This is Mamawati, I think is her name, and she is from West Africa. Did this also fit for another prompt? Oh, this went, I submitted this for Olga's monthly color along, which was Around the World, because to me, she represented West Africa. This page, I did a lot of different layers. So I do have my gouache on here, the ones from Caran d'Ache that I featured. I have my hydrochromatic metallic watercolors, some Pentel Dual, some Pentel Glaze, some Pentel Moonlight, and some white Jelly Roll on here. So there's a lot of mediums on here, but I just love how vibrant and beautiful she is. And so that's my completed page from this, and that is Kirby Rosanna's Mythic World. I do have a page completed out of this one, which is Ikuko's Elegant Faces. This is a long-standing buddy color with my friend Patty, both here from Instagram as well as YouTube. And we do 1 or 2 pages out of this book and the one I'll show you next every single month. I still need to set up for June. But this is the one we did out of this one. Again, I did frame her out, so I didn't have to be too concerned with the rest of the background. And the text on here was, I would rather have a mind opened by wonder than one closed by belief. And that's a quote by Gary Spence. And the way that I find the text is I think about what this says to me, and then I just Google quotes that say wonder or quotes that say something about beauty, and then I just kind of scroll through and find something that speaks to me. But she's got a lot of mediums on her as well. As you can see, there is some glisten to her hair and then to the background as well. But that was a completed page out of Elegant Faces by Ikuko. And then the other buddy color that I did with my friend Patty is from this, Surreal Fantasy, also by Ikuko. And we did this page right here. And so the background is actually done in Graphitent. It was already kind of a dark background, so I didn't know how to play with that, but I certainly wasn't going to do any kind of marker. And then I just picked colors for this little girl right here just to contrast that, so that that would seem dark and mysterious, but she would seem light and fun. And then the text on here says, if you want to be happy, be. And that's by Leo Tolstoy. And I think she's really cute. I loved the rendition that Patty did of this. And this is Surreal Fantasy by Ikuko. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think we actually set up the pages. I'll have to look at my DMs. But yeah, we always work out of Ikuko because they're just fun to do. This was a buddy color with my friend Sarah. This is Jen Katz's Home Sweet Homes, and we did this page right here. Now I know that Sarah has done her completed pages video. I've yet to watch it, but I've seen her rendition of this, and of course it's beautiful. This has a lot of different elements on here. There's Crayola Twistables, Graphitint paint pens, Inktense paint, shuttle art, alcohol markers, and some white gel pens. And it does make the page kind of buckle, although it didn't bleed through. I do always have a blotter page behind it, but as you can see, like the building, you can't really see a lot of the paint, and anything you do see, there's alcohol marker on top of that. And so it's really good paper. I just don't know if it's made for water, just based on the slight buckling of the paper. But yeah, really happy with this. And this is Home Sweet Homes by Jen Katz. Now, this is actually the last book from bookshelf number 3, and you guys know I love me some Zan von Zed. So this is Ladies of Leisure number 3. And I love how she came out. Now, of course, this fits the prompt, which is from Olga, Find in Color for Spider. I think she's absolutely stunning. Stunning, stunning, and there's very minimal work done on this page, and that just attests to the fact that the artwork in of itself is just absolutely beautiful. I did put a bit of a gray cast to her skin. I did want her lips and her eyes to be very dark and vivid. I do want her to be a little bit of scary, a little bit of goth, but not too scary or goth. I think the artwork in and of itself is already giving you those vibes. And then this was already on the page. The spider is the prompt right there. And again, even with the minimal effort, because this was a really quick color, I think because of the artwork, she is absolutely beautiful. The text on her page is, normal is an illusion. What is normal for the spider is chaos for the fly. And I think it fits. I think it's beautiful. I could not be happier with this page. But this is Zan von Zed's Lady of Leisure number 3. All right, we are on bookshelf number 2. Now this actually will go back to work. I have all of my Lulu Mayos there, but I put it on there just for storage reasons, if you guys were wondering. But I did complete this page right here. This went for Find and Color, which was Frog. You can barely see him, but he's right there. This also could have gone for Tammy's Fantasy for Tammy's 50th. Again, my Instagram game is weak, so of course I didn't post it, but it certainly could have gone towards that. Now, I did color this glass here, and then I put some white kind of shiny acrylic over it, and I kind of regret that. I knew the effect that I wanted, and I don't think that's what it was, but it's done now. Overall, though, I think it's a really fun page, and I did choose text from Kermit the Frog, which is, "Someday we'll find it, that rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me." And if you are of a certain age, you can hear the song that goes with that, because that's what I hear when I read that. But that is from Lulu Mayo's A Million Magical Creatures. And again, this one I will be taking back to work. I do have a page completed from this, The Magical Color of Fairies. This was another page that went for Olga's prompt of Frog, this guy right here. Again, I decided to forgo the background just because with as colorful as it was, I didn't know how to do one. I could have done distress ink, but then I thought it would have muddied some of the other colors, and so I just decided to leave it. I think it's really cute. The only thing I hate about flip up books is it is a kind of hard to color. It definitely is hard to kind of feature, but I love the artwork in here, so it's something that I'll deal with the struggle. But this is Angela Gonzalez, The Magical Color of Fairies. I did complete a page out of here, which is a book that I purchased from Amazon. I didn't write it down. Oh no, I did. Kamo's Fashionable Coloring Book by Tokimiki Marche. Actually, I don't think that's the name of the person. But I was inspired to get this from Anne of Pretty Pages 71. This is from Amazon Japan. And the page I completed was this one here, again for the prompt of Frog. And I did use a water-based marker in here because it is double-sided. And there is a little bit of ghosting, but not too much by way of bleed through. I did do some pencil work on top because the water-based marker was streaking and I don't like that look, but it was a lot of work for the pencils on top to even get this effect. So I don't know if I'll just make this a pencil book or if I'll just deal with the streaks by way of the water-based markers. I'm not sure. But I do like the overall color palette. It's really bright, and I do like the artwork in this book. Again, that is my very first page out of here, so it could have gone towards Lavella and T's Color Your Hoard. That's this book here. I did complete a page from Opal's Forest Girls Coloring Book. This is the very first book in the series, and this was a buddy color with my girl Poet, and so I did this one right here. Oh, I didn't write the materials, but yeah, this was an alcohol marker based page with some distress ink on the back. And then the quote or the text on here is, "Where flowers bloom, so does hope." And that is from Lady Bird Johnson. I'm not a huge fan of the colorway here, but by the time I got to that point, I was kind of over it. So everything else I really like the look of, but yeah, that jumper color I could have done differently, but I'm still happy with the overall results. And so this is Opal's Forest Girls Coloring Book, and this is the first one in the series. Now, I actually completed a page out of this, and I really, really, really like this book. I will be reaching out to Emma of Emma Colors so that we can set up a buddy color in here for July. But the page I completed from here was this one right here. Now, considering the colors that I had to work with, which was a 12-piece color pencil set that my sister owned, apparently. I found this when we were going through some things in the garage. That's the only pencils on here. These are really cheap, I'm assuming. They look German. And there's only 12 colors. So considering that, and considering that they are cheap pencils, definitely harder, not as pigmented as I would have liked, I think the results by way of just burnishing and layering is quite phenomenal. I'm interested to see how some of my better pencils work in this book as well. And then I did use some Pentel Dual, some Wink of Stella. This is Stickles right here. I also used some Pentel Glaze to bring some of the different effects on here. But for the most part, the work on here is just pencil. And this was a labor. It did go over a period of days and quite a bit of time over those few days. But I really wanted to see what I could get from this book and from these pencils. And to be honest, I chose these because they were right next to me. So it was more laziness to use them than a true interest. But I am pleasantly surprised with the results. And so that is Doming's, and this is World Fairy Tales. I do have, well, it's not a true page completed, but I do have a section, so I'm going to consider it completed for this month. There is a color along on my channel for this. This is where I did my random color generator. That is a hashtag created by Lily of Art Journey UK, and then I was tagged by Rach of Pricey Colors, and so I decided to use this. If you guys are interested, again, the video on that is on my channel. And then when I do the different sections for other random color generator videos, I will consider it a completed page for that particular month as well. And so this is Joanna Basford's Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. I do have the British version because I did buy this secondhand from my friend Susie of Susie's Cottage. This was a long-standing whip with my friend Jamie. We started this back in April, I think. Yeah, April of 2022. I finally finished it in May. She's still working on hers. She did feature it in her completed pages video. And that's the thing with Buddy Colors. We get it done on the time frame that works best for us. There is no deadline or due date, and this has a lot of different materials on here. There's Ohuhu water-based markers, Inktense pencils, Inktense paints, alcohol markers, Graphitint paints, Papermate Flare, and Sparkle Pop. There is really no rhyme or reason to the color palette. I like a detailed page, but after a while, I just got bored with it. And so I'd come back and do a little bit, and then I'd come back and do a little bit, and eventually I got this. And so by the time I got towards the end, that's when I started busting out the alcohol marker on the page, just because I needed it to get done just for my own purposes, just because I was tired of looking at it. So that's this one here. And this is the Dollhouse. And I don't know the artist of this, but I did purchase this from Amazon Japan. And I was inspired to purchase this by Sarah of Chronic Coloring Down Under. I had seen this on her channel several months ago. And so in my March 2022 order, I just decided to pick it up. And so that's this one here. Jamie and I do have some others, so you can see the tags in here, but these are going to be slow for me. So I don't know when you'll see this again, but I do plan on working this again. I did complete a page out of this one. This is Music Rendezvous by Funo Yanagawa. And I did do this page right here. And there's lots of mediums on here. It's a very bright color palette. I'd actually looked at some Indonesian art, and their art is also very colorful, so I thought this worked. Again, this is definitely more of like a mandala patterny type thing for me, but because it fit towards Olga Rani's Around the World prompt, again, this is another one I didn't write on, it was worth the effort for me. Again, I have stubbornness issues, and if it goes towards something, then I'll definitely put the work and the time into it. I'm very happy with it. And by way of bleed through, there's something right there. I think that actually might be the glitter gel pen. But because this page is so dark, that does not bother me. And this, because of the way that it is, I probably would just use one glitter gel pen on here just to highlight some aspects and then just really play into the black and white feature. But yeah, that's the page I completed here. And because there's so many different aspects on here, that's why I have this blotter sheet right here. But this is out of Funo Yanagawa's Music Rendezvous. This is Trace Around World History, I believe. Yes, from Erie. And this was actually another one that I did for Olga Rani's Around the World prompt. And I thought this was perfect for that. These do take quite a bit of time because I do like to trace with them. For this one, I used a brown Pigmamicron. I do actually have several colors of Pigmamicron pens, and they are waterproof. And I chose that deliberately because a lot of the work was done either with Inktense paint pans or Graphitint. And then there's some Pentel glaze on here, as well as some Pentel dual hybrid metallic on here. The palette is quite limited, and so I didn't feel it necessary that I feature colors maybe reminiscent of those, maybe with the exception of that. But I did want it to be cohesive, even though the theme itself isn't by way of locations. It is a cohesive theme because they're just different locations. I'm quite happy on how this came out. And let's see. You can see a little bit of ghosting if there's some light behind, but otherwise the page behind it is quite pristine. And I show that to you guys just in case you're interested in using your various materials in your various books. It gives you an idea of the things that you can use and whether or not it'll affect the other side. But this is Tracing Around World History by Erie. I did another Erie page. This was a buddy color with my girl Tammy, and this is Erie's Fairy Tales Around the World, I believe. And I did this page right here. Originally, I had decided to go in a very bright, vibrant color. And so if you can see that blue right there, that's actually a Hoo-Hoo water-based marker. And then I decided to use my Graphitint paint pens, and I really loved the effect, and that's why I made her into a stone statue instead of a mermaid. I believe the story of Lorelei is from Germany, and so this is what this represented for me. And so to bring down some of that blue, I actually put Graphitint on top of it, and also colored the shells there, and I was happy with the effect because of the water-based marker. It did actually bleed some of the blue into the shells. And again, I thought that effect looked good. And then the rest of this page is muted because I was using Graphitint. There is some pencil work on here, but not a lot. But this definitely was a different direction what I had originally thought of, but I really like the direction that it went into. And I love the fact that she's a statue versus an actual mermaid. This could have gone for Erica's Mermaid Color Along, Bubble Studios, Bubble Aquatic. I believe Sonia of Sonia Mixed Media also had a prompt. I can't remember what it was, but I have Find It, Color It. She's doing that via Instagram, and it's hard for me to remember to check Instagram to see what the new prompt is. And then this also went for Olga's Finding Color Around the World in 80 Pictures, because this to me represents Lorelei from Germany. I believe that's where it's from. But yeah, I was really happy with this, and this is Erie's Fairy Tales Around the World. And actually this is the final book of bookshelf number 2. I don't even know if I announced that, but yeah, we're on bookshelf number 2, and now we're going to go to bookshelf number 1. I did complete a page out of this. This is Disney's Pop Art from Hashihiro. I did purchase this from Lyrica.com. This was for Pixie's Pixie Disney Coloring. The prompt for me was Bambi, and I really liked working on this page. The way that I plan to approach these pages is the actual characters will be colored in the way that Disney has colored them, or is at least as close as I can approximate. But then the back is all going to be in very primary, bold, bright colors, and if it blends in with the subject matter, great. If it contrasts with the subject matter, great. It doesn't matter, but that's how I plan to attack these pages. And so this is pop art from Hache Hero. It's a Legrand Cares, and again, it's from Lyrica.com. This was another page completed, or this was another book purchased from Lyrica.com. I did actually purchase them all at the same time. And I did this as a buddy color with Carrie K. Carey, and we did this page right here. I will need to reach out to her and see if she wants to do another page out of here, or see what other books she has similar to me. But I really enjoyed this, and this gold was actually some gold acrylic paint that I had purchased from Walmart. And even though it's a very similar, almost patterny type page, especially by the way of the back, there was enough differences between the different characters that I didn't get bored. But I'm really happy with the results, and that's out of mangas from Lyrica.com. This was a first time buddy color with my friend Philomena from Instagram. I'll link her Instagram page below. And we did do a page out of here. And it's this one right here. The one that Philomena did looked very kind of spooky and ethereal and almost a little sinister. It definitely looks like an alien is about to do something to this little mermaid, but still, I loved the effect that I was able to achieve, and there's a lot of paint on this paper, but I especially love the effect that Philomena got out of her page, just because of the colors that she chose for hers. It's absolutely beautiful. It's been a while since I've worked out of any Maria Trolle books, and so I'm happy that I was able to get into this. This would have counted towards the Bubble Aquatic 2022 hashtag, as well as Mermaid, because of the Little Mermaid right here. And I wasn't trying to get these two pages to match, but because they both deal with water, and of course that's blue, at least in my book, they do seem to work off of each other quite well. But yeah, that was a really fun buddy color, although it did take quite a bit of time. And that's out of Luna from Maria Trolle. And then my last completed page for this, and then after this I'll actually go into my reference journal, is Tenderful Enchantments by Klara Markova. And I completed this page right here. As you guys know, this is the only Klara Markova book that I have, unless I can find it cheap in the community. It's probably the only one I'm ever going to have. But these little berries right here look like eyeballs to me. I actually think I'll do a color along where I color some eyeballs with you guys, just because I think it'll be fun. But because of this aspect, this book is actually infinitely more interesting to me than it originally was, and the paper actually works really good with pencils, and so I like ending the video on this just because it makes me smile, because any picture with any of those little blueberry things on it, all I see is eyeballs now. And that just, it makes it funny to me, right? I mean, beautiful scene, she's reading in bed, but there's just scattered eyeballs around the room. How fun is that? And that is Klara Markova's Tenderful Enchantments. I did pick this up secondhand from KP Colors, so thank you, KP. So let me get my reference journal and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is my Maisie Lane Co. long-term reference journal, and so I do have focuses. I don't even think that's the right terminology, but I'm already exhausted, so we'll just go with that. Every single month. I don't have goals, I just have things I like to focus on. And so let's go down this together. I did color a page from Opal, from Zan Von Zed, Carla Magana, Mythographic, Erie, Joanna Basford, Reptiloids, Ikuko. There were several 10 by 10 books and a hardback book. There was 2 of those, so that works. We did not do the alphabet marker challenge by Corey just because I couldn't find any, but we did do the pencil one. There were pages that could have gone towards Hollow New Year. Again, my Instagram posting is weak, and so it's never on Instagram, but I do like to count towards that. Hues of 2022, that wasn't necessary for May because it's only the even months. Coloring the Year of the Tiger, there's actually 2 pages. One color challenge, there was 2 pages. Random color generator, yeah, there was that 1 page. Fantasy for Tammy's 50th, again, I didn't post, but there's several pages that actually could have counted towards that. I did finish my Patreon read for May. I actually need to write down when we had the talk about that, because Andy does a Patreon group buddy read, and then at the ending of the month we do kind of our thoughts about it, so I need to write that down. For May, we didn't have a buddy color, or we didn't have a buddy read, but we do have one set up for June, so I'll need to write that down as well. And then I wanted to update you guys on one other thing. This thing right here. I realized that there is a book that I forgot to show you guys, which is this one right here. And the reason I forgot it is because it's tucked away, and so it's not with my other coloring books, but it is this I bought from Lyrica last year, October, which is Ville Sauvage. And it's this really big book. I believe I actually have a flip through of this on my channel, but I have not colored on or in this one as well. So I'm going to, I already added it there, but I wanted to show you guys. So I did already color one for June out of here. In fact, there's some other ones that I colored as well. But yeah, I wanted to update you guys on this. You'll see the completed coloring pages for June when I show you the different books that I've done. But yeah, that's the ending of this video. Again, definitely low energy. There wasn't, except for that moldy hair story, there really wasn't a lot of stories. There definitely was a lot of pictures. I can't tell you if it's going to be the same for June. Again, I've been dealing with some knee issues. It's not even so much when I'm sitting, it's just when I'm standing and walking to and from, but it's on the mend. So after this video, I might film one more and then just put my legs up because that seems to help. Anyway, guys, I'd love to know if you had a favorite picture in all of the pictures that I showed you in today's video. That's it for me for now. And as always, aloha.